You're the distraction. We ain't had a hit since you've been around. Stop talking.
What started as a so-called business partnership quickly morphed into one of the wildest behind-the-scenes stories in modern hip-hop. Wack100 was supposed to guide and protect Blueface, but instead, this whole situation feels more like a long con, where serious money somehow slipped right through the cracks. Let's break down how one of the most talked about managers in the culture allegedly played it all out in plain sight. Wack100 is a longtime music manager out of Los Angeles, famous for his loud opinions, non-stop controversy, and standing next to artists whose lives are pure chaos. Born Cash Jones, he made his name in the streets before pivoting to the music world, eventually managing names like The Game and Ray J. But out of all his moves, his connection to Blueface might be the most profitable and the sneakiest situation of them all. Blueface, born Jonathan Porter, was just a young guy from L.A. who stumbled into fame almost by accident. He blew up off the viral success of Oceana with zero clue about contracts, managers, or how the industry really works. He wasn't polished, wasn't trained, and definitely wasn't protected. Just a street-smart kid making noise and figuring things out as he went. And that lack of structure, that made him the perfect setup for someone seasoned like Wack100.
Pretty stupid. I'll tell you why. Blueface is signed to Wack100 and managed by Wack100. Let me tell you how this works. When you sign to a label, they take at least half already. Then you're getting managed by the guy who owns the label. So of your 50% that you're getting, or less than 50%, he's still taking at least 20% of that too.
You got a fresh, viral artist, no legal team, no management, no real guidance, and money moving fast with zero blueprint. According to Blueface himself, that's exactly when Wack slid in heavy, setting up meetings and pushing influence like he already owned the situation. The connection started after Wack100's daughter heard Oceana and put him onto the track. Not long after, Wack slid into Blueface's DMs trying to set up a sit-down. Blueface wasn't feeling it at first. A quick Google search showed nothing but drama, arguments, and messy headlines, which made him keep his guard up 100%. Blueface even admitted that Wack's past name and reputation made things awkward, especially with their different street affiliations. Still, Wack didn't back off. Constant calls, non-stop messages, pushing hard for a meeting at his house like time was running out. At that point, Blueface was running everything solo, booking shows, shooting videos, handling business himself, while labels like Atlantic and Empire circled, clearly not understanding his background. One moment at a park in his neighborhood changed everything. Wack called again, sent a car, and this time Blueface got in. When he finally pulled up to Wack100's mansion, the flex hit instantly. The house, the lifestyle, the energy, it all screamed success. Blueface later explained that seeing someone who really got it hits different. That visual alone made him believe Wack could take him to the next level. And that's exactly the setup Wack wanted. The mansion wasn't just a home, it was a full-on sales pitch. Everything about that moment was designed to impress, overwhelm, and lower Blueface's guard before any real business talk even started. Here's where it takes a sharp turn. Wack already had the contract printed and ready before Blueface even arrived. No long conversation, no breakdown of terms, no proper explanation, just papers waiting to be signed. That alone raises eyebrows because major deals don't move like surprise pop quizzes. The most uncomfortable moment came next. Blueface looked at Wack's wife and asked if she would advise her own son to sign that same contract. She said yes. That answer hit Blueface hard because he trusted a mother wouldn't steer him wrong. Based on that alone, Blueface signed on the spot. No lawyer, no time to review, no real understanding of what he was committing to. He trusted the room, trusted the moment, and trusted people who clearly knew way more than he did. Later, the real details came out. The deal wasn't just management, it was management and record deal combined. That meant Wack was collecting money twice from the same income streams. First, 50% off the top from music earnings, then another 20% as management from what was left. That's a massive cut. DJ Academics broke it down publicly and called it exactly what it looked like: double dipping. In most situations, an artist never signs both deals with the same person because it creates a clear conflict of interest. Normally, managers take 15 to 20%, and record deals split profits evenly after expenses. But this setup gave Wack an advantage from every angle. While Blueface took the hit long term, this wasn't a short-term run. These deals stretch across years and multiple albums, meaning that the cut didn't stop, it just kept flowing. Fast forward to now, and the outcome speaks for itself. Blueface came home from jail with almost nothing to show financially, despite platinum records and massive visibility. Even his restaurant venture hasn't moved the way people expected, which makes the situation feel even heavier. When you're only keeping around 30% of what you earn, building anything solid for the future becomes nearly impossible. Investments stall, businesses struggle, and long-term plans crumble fast. Most of Blueface's money has reportedly been funneling straight to Wack100. Now there's even talk that Blueface may have to let go of his house. That alone shows how damaging these kinds of deals can be to an artist's financial future. While Wack continues living large, posting luxury, and flexing online, the artist who actually made the music is stuck scrambling. What makes it even crazier? Blueface is still locked into the agreement. These contracts are built to trap artists, making exits nearly impossible without burning serious cash on penalties and legal battles. And let's not forget how young Blueface was when this all went down. Barely in his early 20s, fresh off the streets, no business education and no protection around him. That lack of experience created the perfect setup for a seasoned player to structure a deal heavily in their favor. This situation isn't just about one artist. It highlights a bigger pattern in the industry, where older, experienced players pressure young talent into bad deals, using flashy lifestyles, urgency, and psychological tactics. Looking back, the warning signs were everywhere. Contracts ready before talks, stacked deals, and zero room for legal review. One of the most calculated moves? Using family influence to make the deal feel safe and trustworthy. That's not guidance, that's pressure wrapped in comfort. Sure, Wack may argue he helped elevate Blueface's career, but taking roughly 70% of someone's earnings crosses every reasonable line. When one person controls the money, the moves, and the direction, that's not partnership, that's control. And when control runs that deep, the artist pays the price, millions of dollars over time that should have stayed in their own pocket. The lesson here hits harder than anything else. Never sign anything without a lawyer checking it first. It doesn't matter how cool the person seems, how rich they look, or how sweet the offer sounds. Independent legal advice is non-negotiable. A lot of industry vets love to present themselves as mentors or big brother figures to young artists, but real mentorship doesn't come with a 70% cut attached. The mansion, the lifestyle, the flex, it all created an illusion that made Blueface believe he could reach that same level just by signing on the dotted line. What didn't he see? Wack100's wealth didn't come from one success story. It came from stacking massive percentages from multiple artists over the years. And the damage from deals like this goes way beyond money. When artists can't keep their earnings, they can't invest in their families, their neighborhoods, or anything long-term. It keeps them stuck in the same cycle. Any solid entertainment lawyer would have spotted the red flags immediately. Combining management and record deals, extreme percentages, no cooling off period, any of that would have been renegotiated or shut down completely. With even basic industry knowledge, Blueface would have known double dipping at that level isn't normal or fair. There was also fake urgency, pressure to sign fast, leaving no time to think, research, or ask questions. Meanwhile, labels like Atlantic and Empire Records were already circling, options that likely would have left him in a stronger position. Now, he's left dealing with the fallout, limited options, strained finances, and assets on the line, while the other person keeps collecting. His success made someone else wealthy, but the contract made sure he couldn't build the same future for himself. At this point, the only real option is keep grinding under the same terms and hope that tiny 30% somehow stretches far enough. That's a brutal position to be in, because no matter how hard you work, the math is already stacked against you. And that pressure doesn't just hit the bank account, it messes with your head, too. When you wake up every day knowing most of your effort is lining someone else's pockets, motivation starts slipping, and creativity takes a real hit. That mental weight adds up fast. Instead of focusing on growth, artistry, and long-term vision, the artist is stuck thinking about survival. Every song, every appearance, every move feels less rewarding when the payoff barely reaches you. Over time, that kind of setup drains passion, dulls ambition, and turns what should be exciting into straight frustration. And trust me, other artists are watching this closely. Situations like this become quiet case studies across the industry, teaching hard lessons without anyone saying a word. It highlights exactly why proper representation, legal awareness, and patience matter so much. What's happening between Blueface and Wack100 doesn't even resemble a healthy manager-artist relationship anymore. It looks more like control than collaboration. Real managers work for the artist. They protect earnings, build leverage, and open doors, not structure deals where they win no matter what. This setup feels like an extreme 360 deal, and even most of those don't come close to taking 70%. By any industry standard, that's excessive and borderline reckless. If deals like this start getting normalized, it sends a dangerous message. It tells young artists that desperation justifies unfair terms. And these business situations don't just stay on paper. They destroy trust, strain personal relationships, and leave long-term resentment that doesn't fade easily. Blueface likely viewed Wack as a mentor and protector at first. Realizing that trust came with heavy strings attached is a hard wake-up call. And when artists can't build wealth from their own success, their families feel it too. Kids, relatives, and everyone around them lose opportunities. Add financial stress, legal pressure, and feeling trapped, and the mental toll becomes unavoidable. Success is supposed to bring stability and peace, not constant anxiety. When most of the reward goes elsewhere, it's hard to justify giving maximum effort. That's a reality the industry can't keep brushing off anymore. Situations like this make it painfully clear why artists need real protection before it's too late. So many bad decisions could be avoided with even basic education, understanding contract language, industry standards, percentages, and long-term consequences before signing anything. That knowledge alone can save careers. And peer guidance matters just as much, because artists who've already survived the industry are often the only ones willing to warn newcomers about quiet traps, shady setups, and deals that look sweet on the surface but turn toxic over time. At the end of the day, Blueface took the biggest hit here. A young artist who caught lightning with a viral record should have been positioned for long-term security. But instead, that moment became the foundation for someone else's wealth, and that's the real problem. This isn't just one bad decision, it's a system that keeps rewarding the wrong people. This goes way beyond one contract or one manager. The industry has a long-standing pattern where experienced business players prey on young, inexperienced artists who don't yet understand how power, leverage, and money really move. Until transparency, education, and accountability become standard, stories like this won't stop. They'll just keep repeating with new faces. The biggest takeaway is simple but critical. Knowledge is power. Trust is fine, but verification is non-negotiable. A deal that sounds life-changing today can quietly drain millions over the years if you don't slow down and check the fine print. If Blueface's experience helps even one young artist pause, ask questions, and protect their future, then at least something meaningful comes from this situation. And if you rocked with this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Don't click away just yet. The next video on your screen dives even deeper into celebrity drama and industry chaos. You don't want to miss it.